The Angry Wife. Chapter 1. The Slamming Door. The front door slammed so hard that a photo fell off the wall. Anita stood there, trembling with anger, her eyes burning with tears she refused to let fall. Her husband, Vikram, didn't even flinch. He just went back to scrolling through his phone, slouched on the living room sofa like nothing had happened. "How can you act like this doesn't matter?" she shouted. Vikram sighed. "Because it doesn't, Anita. You're always angry, always fighting." She clenched her fists. "Because I'm tired, Vikram. Tired of being ignored. Tired of being taken for granted. Tired of being your wife and your maid, but never your partner." The silence that followed was thick with tension. She stormed into the kitchen, slamming the door behind her again. In the corner of the living room, their 8-year-old daughter, Ria, sat quietly with her doll, pretending not to notice. But she did. Chapter 2. The Roots of Rage. Anita hadn't always been angry. She once laughed easily. She used to wake up humming songs and surprise Vikram with notes in his lunchbox. She used to paint, teach part-time, and spend lazy weekends with her small family. But over the years, things changed. Vikram got busier at work and colder at home. His ambition took over every corner of their life. Promotion after promotion, business trips, late-night meetings. He provided money, yes, but no attention, no affection, no effort. And Anita? She gave up her job to raise Ria. She did the cooking, cleaning, parenting, all while feeling invisible in her own home. When she tried to talk, Vikram brushed her off. "You overthink everything," he'd say. Or, "Don't start again, Anita." And so, the fire in her heart that once warmed her family began to burn her from the inside. Anger wasn't her nature. It was her defense. Chapter 3. Cracks in the Wall. The fights became routine. Loud arguments, icy silences, broken dishes, bitter mornings. Vikram would walk out. Anita would cry when no one saw. And Ria, she learned to stay quiet, to disappear into her books. One evening, Anita found a message on Vikram's phone. It wasn't proof of cheating, but it was from a female colleague, a little too friendly, a little too late at night. She confronted him. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it either. "Are you having an affair?" she asked. His answer, "Does it matter anymore?" That broke something inside her. That night, she packed a bag and left with Ria to her parents' house for the first time since her marriage. She needed space, but more than that, she needed clarity. Chapter 4. A Room of Her Own. At her parents' house, Anita found herself in her childhood room, smaller than she remembered, with faded posters and an old desk that still had scribbles from her college days. Her mother, a quiet woman with gentle eyes, didn't ask too many questions. She simply held Anita close and said, "Take your time." Ria, though confused, seemed happier here. She played freely, giggled more, and slept soundly. Anita began to breathe again. The anger didn't disappear, but in the quiet of her parents' home, it began to melt into something else: exhaustion, disappointment, and sorrow. One morning, her father poured her a cup of tea and sat beside her on the veranda. "You've been strong for too long," he said. "Now it's time to decide. Do you want to keep holding on, or let go and find peace?" That night, she wrote in her old diary. After years of bottling up emotions, she let the ink carry the pain. Page after page, she emptied her soul. She didn't want to be the angry wife anymore. She wanted to be herself again. Chapter 5. Looking back, stepping forward. 2 weeks passed. Vikram didn't visit. He didn't call. A few emotionless texts came through. "Ria's school fees paid. Tell her I said hi." No apology, no questions. And yet, Anita couldn't forget the good times. The early days of their marriage. The times they danced in the rain, stayed up watching movies, held each other after a long day. Were they gone forever? Her mother said gently, "Love doesn't disappear. But sometimes, people stop watering it. That line stayed with her. She decided to meet Vikram. Not to return, not to fight, but to talk. Really talk. They met at a coffee shop. He looked tired, thinner, and nervous. "Why did you stop caring?" she asked directly. He looked away. "I didn't mean to. I thought providing was enough." "It's not," she said. "Marriage isn't rent and bills. It's respect, time, kindness." He nodded slowly. "I was afraid that you didn't love me anymore." Anita took a deep breath. "I was angry, yes. But under that anger was loneliness. I begged for your attention. You gave me silence." They sat there in the awkward quiet of two people realizing they both failed, and both still had something left. Chapter 6. Rebuilding on Honest Ground. After their conversation, things didn't magically fix themselves. But something shifted. Vikram started calling every day, first to talk to Ria, then to Anita. He didn't push her to return. Instead, he listened. For the first time in years, he listened. Anita, in turn, started seeing a therapist, something she had always thought was for other people. But the sessions helped. She began to understand where her anger came from and how to stop letting it control her. She also started teaching part-time again at a nearby coaching center. The classroom felt like freedom. Her voice, her ideas, her laughter, it all began to return. One evening, after dinner, Ria tugged at her sleeve. "Mama, are we going back home?" Anita knelt down and smiled softly. "We'll go where we're respected, loved, and happy. That might be the same house, or maybe a new one. But wherever we go, it will feel like home." Chapter 7. A Woman Reborn. Anita continued teaching. Each day brought her more joy, more confidence. She began wearing bright colors again, something she hadn't done in years. She cut her hair short, her own small rebellion. Her students loved her energy, her wit, her sharp mind. She was no longer just someone's wife or someone's mother. She was Anita, the woman she had forgotten but was finally remembering. Meanwhile, Vikram sent letters. Yes, letters, handwritten. Each one was different. One recalled a memory, another apologized for things he didn't see, and the third simply said, "I know I broke what we had, but if I still have the chance, I'll spend my life helping you heal." He didn't beg, he waited, and Anita respected that. Chapter 8. The Decision. One Sunday morning, as Anita folded laundry, her mother handed her the latest letter from Vikram. This time, it wasn't long. "I miss being your partner, but more than that, I want to be your friend again. I want to understand, not defend. Whether or not you come back, I want to become a better man. For you, for Ria, for myself." Anita stared at the page. She thought of her therapist's words. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's wisdom. And she made a decision, not out of guilt, not out of fear, not for Ria's sake, but because she believed in second chances when they are earned. Chapter 9. Love Rekindled or Released. Anita didn't return to the old house. Instead, she invited Vikram to visit her at her parents' home for a meal with Ria. He came, nervous, sincere. They talked, laughed a little. And when Ria went to bed, Anita asked, "Are you ready to share the load this time?" Vikram nodded. "More than ready, but only if you still want to try." She looked at him, long and quiet. "I'm not angry anymore," she said. He leaned forward. "I hope you're not saying that for my sake." "No," she said. "I'm saying it for mine." They started meeting every weekend. Therapy together, small steps. And eventually, Anita moved, not back to the old apartment, but to a new home. A new space built together, where Anita had her own room, her own job, her own time, where she was loved and respected. Chapter 10. No longer angry. Years passed. Anita became a school principal. Ria became a confident teenager. Vikram, now a more present husband and father, still sent her letters on their anniversary, every year. In one of them, he wrote, "Thank you for teaching me that anger is not the enemy. Indifference is." They still had arguments. Life wasn't perfect, but Anita never returned to the woman who used rage to feel heard. She had found her voice, and she used it with calm, with clarity, with strength. She was no longer the angry wife. She was a woman who survived, healed, and grew. And that was more powerful than anger would ever be.